Hello and welcome to Dreams of Wings. And I should start off by saying I had no intention of streaming this morning. I was just going to do a bit of a training flight up here in the Highlands in the H500C. But it just seemed so beautiful, the lighting, the scenery and everything. I thought, why the hell not share it on a stream? And also, if anyone wanted to come along and fly as well, then they're more than welcome. So that's why we're here. It's very off the cuff. You'll notice, thank God, there's no camera because I haven't set all that gubbins up, which isn't such a bad thing because you don't want to look at me. You want to look at the helicopter and the views. And there is Aspin, the squadron dog, looking very happy next to the camp. I mean, this is just paradise. I wish this was my real life. But it isn't. But there you go. That's why this is called a simulator. Aidan, hope you're doing well, mate. All good here. Hope everything is good with you. Good to see you. So yeah, we are here. We are at Aknasheen Airstrip, Echo Golf Yankee Quebec, and well, it's live weather and live time, and on the Western Europe server. So if you want to come along, you are absolutely more than welcome. Very simply, let me just show you on the map. This is where we are. So we are in the middle of nowhere, and we're just going to be heading north. This was all I did when I kind of thought of a route. I thought we'll just head up here to Loch Assynt, and really, it's one of those flights where it's just a case of seeing what we see, seeing what scenery is around. If there's anywhere interesting to land, or anywhere interesting to practice some low speed hovering, all that kind of stuff, then that's what it's about. It's simple. It's chilled out, it's relaxed, and hopefully enjoyable. But as I say, you are more than welcome to come along. Okay, right. Let me just quickly jump into here and find my controller. Right, so turn on the head tracking. Morning, everyone. Good to see some people joining the chat. Oh, get that wire out of the way. Okay, so first things first, and I am glad to say, thank God, Flow is back. How good to have Flow back in 2024. No more hunting around that blooming awful menu bar up there. I was so glad when I saw this the other day and hopped out and got it straight away. So we need to pack everything away. Excuse me. There we go. Losing my voice all of a sudden. Packing up the camp, eco-responsible and all that. Aspen, he's a good squadron dog, but he doesn't like flying, so we pack him away. That's your seat there. Get comfortable. I'm going to pop outside and we need to have a quick walk around. So let's do that. I mean, it's just stunning. Look at that. Look at that. I've actually, funnily enough, I've got a picture on my wall. It's a painting. And it's not of this area, but it almost looks like that. The scenery in the simulator is just blooming gorgeous. Okay, let's remove a few things, and yeah, that's all good. Quick look round here. It's interesting. I've just noticed I opened my door, but my door seems to have disappeared. Interesting. We'll have a look at that when we get back in. Right, pop the cover off and let's check in. Hello, I think someone's just joined. There we go. What have we got? Aha! We got Cami in an MH60. I'd say this every blooming time I stream multiplayer. I do like the look of that helicopter, but I just don't fly it enough. There we go. And on this side, getting a bit closer. There we go. Right, so we check for squirrels, we check for haggises, or haggai as they're actually known. Very dangerous to get any haggai in your engine bay, but all the wiring and everything's looking fine, so happy with that. And then we can pop over here, get a bit closer, get that click spot. There we go. That's all good. We can't check the fuel at the moment. I'm kind of hoping that No, I'm kind of hoping that that will get added at some point, but otherwise everything else is looking good. Let's have a quick check down here at the rotor spot, or tail rotor. Ah, now that's interesting. So tail rotor has disappeared as well. Something going on with the sim. I've never seen that before. My door's disappeared and my tail rotor has disappeared. Let's pop back in and let's just jump out into drone view. They have disappeared. How very odd. I wonder what's causing that. So let's put that back there. And how weird. How weird. Okay. Just in case this is a precursor to things going wrong, I am going to restart because I don't want any issues once we get going. How weird. Right, let's have a look. Tail rotor's back. Okay, that's really weird. Like I say, never seen that before. I'm just going to chalk it up as one of those weird little things that happen in the sim from time to time. You know what I'm talking about. Crazy little things, and you think, what on earth is going on in my sim? But it's there, look, it's there. Everything's fine. Cammy's still there in the MH60, so we're all good. Right. Let's get in. And let's try that again. And this time, there we go, select the right view. Right, close the door. Excellent. Okay, just checking my head tracking. So that's a good. Check physical controls. Yep, everything is looped up where it should be. And let's get going. So we can have battery on. Turn the ignition key. Ignition key's actually already on. That's good. Get some lights on. We've already got the anti-collisions on. Generator can come off. It's got the persistence thing working. I was messing about with this before when I was doing the flight before I decided to live stream, and it's kept the switches where they were before. Something I am going to do is turn off the terrain warning. The visibility today is good.
System test okay.
Good enough that we can see outside, and I absolutely promise you, if I leave that on, it's going to drive you absolutely up the wall. Sometimes when I turn that off, people say, oh yes, that's right, now you're just going to crash into a mountain. No, because I can see. The visibility is good, so I'm not going to worry about having that on too much. And as I say, it is going to drive you absolutely bonkers if I leave it on. Okay, so the fuel cock is open. I'm just going to double check that by that is open. Start pump on for 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's all good. I'm just going to quickly check that the throttle and everything on my Whirlpool collective is synced. It is, so that's all good. And we are ready to go. Otherwise, I'm just having a quick look around just to make sure I've not missed anything. Do a quick check of those. Yes. Yes. Get your head down, laddie. Come on, where's the click spot? No. There we go. Right, and all these lights are absolutely fine. That's what we'd expect to see in this position. Okay, my favourite part. Let's wind up the engine, and I'll shut up for a second. By the way, in the chat, if you can't hear me, which might be a good thing, I say that every time, but you know what I mean. If you can't hear the helicopter or you can't hear me, please do shout in the chat, because I can adjust it. And it seems that every time I stream, something changes in the mix, probably because I've messed about with other volume controls. Well, no, that's getting noisy. There's Cammy. Look at that. Love that MH60, and I never fly it, and I should do. Okay, let's go. Okay, we got a failure there. Interesting. Weird things always happen when I stream. Okay, so I've just turned everything down, and I'm just going to let things relax again. Something happened with the Whirlpool. So the cutoff wasn't in the right position, so I quickly closed it down. But we'll just let that settle, and then we'll start again. So you can see if I go down here, you can see when I turn the throttle, that top piece clicks down, and I want that to, there we go, that's all good. Just going to check that again, and it's working the way it should do. Yeah, that's good. Okay, let's try again. Okay, there are weird things happening today. Weird things happening today. Nothing's working. Isn't it strange how 1 minute the sim is working fine and the next minute it's not? Very odd. Okay, let's try something. Just checking everything. So let me just play with the collective again. Maybe that's not synced up properly. There we go. Let's try this time. And again. There we go. Just checking the temperature. A little bit hot, but hopefully that's going to fall down. There we go. There we go, it's all winding up, behaving itself. Let's have the generator on now. Got the low rotor warning bleeper going off. Okay, let's wind up the throttle. Engine out warning has gone out. That's good. And let's quickly check the RPM. So up to 104. Back down. And back up again. So that's all working. I'm doubly checking all this because the it's definitely behaving a bit odd today. I don't know if it's because I didn't restart the sim fully before I started the stream or something like that, but yeah, acting odd. DGJ, good to see you in the llama there, lovely helicopter. Right, okay, so we've got no warnings and everything seems to be working absolutely fine there. Okay, a little bit trepidation with the way things are working, but we'll see. Okay, so wind is 11 knots, so the wind has picked up a bit since I first started this, but the wind is 11 knots and it's coming from our left down that way, so we're going to have to lift, head down the loch a little bit, and then we'll come back on ourselves again. Okay. Check. Yeah, that's so good. Do love this helicopter. It's a great way to get your helicopter physics and practice nailed down because it's so squirrely and sensitive. But everything's looking good. I don't fully trust you, 500C this morning. You are acting a little bit funny, so anyway, let's see. Okay, so let's turn around. And we're going to pop up over this hill. Looks like we've lost the sun momentarily. When I was setting up earlier on, the sun was just on the hills. It was absolutely stunning, but I think the sun has gone behind some clouds, of which there are plenty. As I say, this is live weather and live time. So just heading in the general direction of Lecky, which is just over the top of this hill. As I said at the start, this for me is very much a kind of flight I use as a training flight. So it's an opportunity to get a bit of practice in, get a bit of handling practice in, and all that kind of good stuff, and also see some gorgeous scenery at the same time. I mean, just look at that, the mountains over there. The west coast of Scotland is beautiful, really is. So just keeping an eye on everything. There we go. And you can see the sun is on some of the mountains in the distance. I hope it comes across in the stream. It's always very difficult, or different I should say, when you're sitting in front of a big screen and I have this vista before me of the mountains and everything, which is what you'd see if you were flying as well in the sim. But when you're watching, especially if you're on something that like a phone, I don't know how well it comes across, but I say it every time. I'm sure it bores everyone senseless, but the scenery in this sim, especially up here in Scotland, is just gorgeous. So this is the kind of thing that interests me for doing helicopter practice flying in an area like this, is you get lots of little features like this. There's loads of little things to have a look at, and whilst it also gives you an opportunity to mooch around, do a bit of sightseeing, see the detail in the ground. You know, the beauty of this sim is that it's the real world. It's also a chance to have a bit of practice flying, you know, some attempt at some smooth low speed handling, all that kind of stuff. That's what it's all about. So just a little bit of low speed here with a crosswind. Actually, that's a lie. It's not a crosswind right now. It's a 9-knot headwind we've got, so it's not a crosswind at all. Don't misadvertise, Dreams of Wings. It's not clever. Here we go. Nice little lock-in. I doubt there's much trout in there. But I mean, it's just, this is what I love. It's just the detail that you get in this sim is just quite beautiful. Okay, I can hear. There's the llama. Llama is another fantastic helicopter, by the way. If you're thinking of getting into helicopters and you haven't come over onto the dark side, then I can heartily recommend the Llama or the H500C to learn to fly in. They're not the easiest to fly by any stretch, but they're a great way of learning the physics, and they're such a damn good simulation. There's enough real-world helicopter pilots out there that have kind of vouched for how good the flight models are with these helicopters, that an idiot like me who has never flown a helicopter for real can rest assured that their simulator is simulating to a reasonable degree. Right, so we'll just head up this way now. One of the things that I find flying around areas like this is that you do get distracted by the scenery. I've become distracted by this wee burn, and it's made me realise we're heading in kind of the wrong direction. So we'll pick up a bit of speed, and then using that tree as a marker, I'm going to weak us round here, and then we'll head over the hill. There we go. So climb over the hill, pulling some pitch. Be careful not to do anything silly like over talk or anything naughty like that. Balancing the speed. By the way, when I'm talking, I'm not teaching you how to do anything. Please do not think that this is me trying to give anybody a tutorial on how to fly helicopters. It's me quite often just talking to myself, just telling myself what I'm doing and reminding myself what I need to do and what I need to look out for. And also, quite often if I make mistakes, I will point those out as well, not only on live streams but also on videos. Because it's all a learning experience, isn't it? That's what it's about. I mean, it's that thing that people often say that, you know, you're always learning in aviation, and that's absolutely true, whether it's the real world or in the sim. Nobody is perfect, although some people like to think they are. Beautiful scenery. Fergus, flying side 206. Oh, interesting. Yeah, I've heard a lot about the flying side 206. Unfortunately, it's not a type that interests me. But I've heard a lot of good things about it. Look at that. That's what I'm talking about. Look at that scenery. Wow. Flying in the wrong direction again, but my god, it's worth it. I feel so lucky that Scotland is so well depicted in the sim. Some areas are a little bit odd, some areas look a little bit P3D-ish, but Scotland, the detail in Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024 is so good. So good. There's the MH60. Lovely helicopter, isn't it? I should turn labels off a moment. Okay, we need to get back on course again, Roberto. You have got a little bit distracted, haven't you, sunshine? Yes, I have. That's what it's all about. That's why we do this kind of flying in this kind of area, because we want to get distracted, because we want to see interesting places to land and to mess about in. That's an interesting little spot. What's the wind? 10 knots from the right. Okay, we're going to land here. Just fly up the glen a little bit, reducing the speed, braking a little, and then coming around to the left. Sometimes, and that's one of them, I find the fisheye lens effect can be a little bit distracting. You kind of judge your distance and it's not quite right. Well, I need to do something about that. Squire, I see your message, my friend, and I'll tell you in a second. I'm just concentrating at the moment. And the map at this stage doesn't show me, doesn't have a name on it, but I'll show you in a second. So wind is 10 knots coming from the right. We've actually got a bit of a crosswind now, which is alright. Sometimes it's good to practice crosswinds. I know the advantage of a helicopter is that you can turn it into wind. It's not like a fixed wing, but it's all practice. So I'm kind of aiming for, there's like a, I don't know how to describe it, it's not an oval, but it's like an area of rough ground just ahead. There's like a green ring with a brown centre to it. You can probably see it in the centre of the screen. That's kind of what I'm aiming for. When I get closer, I might find that it's a little bit too undulating for helicopter landing operations, but we'll have a look. That looks okay. It's going to turn us a little bit. This is where I always get unstuck. There we go, just to rest that a second. And we're down. There we go. I just lifted the collective just as we were about to touch down, so we did a double bounce. By heck, it's blowy, isn't it? Look at that. Right, Squire. Just for you. Let's get the map up. Okay, so we took off here from Echo Golf Yankee Quebec. We've kind of squirreled around up here towards Lecky, and we are now, here we go, Loch Fanich, on the west side of Loch Fanich. And that's where we are. And that's obviously the satellite map, and you can see that the way the scenery is depicted is pretty good. Pretty good. Okay, let's get... I've lost the chat at the moment. There we go, got the chat back. Right. So, we're going to lift again and head to the north. So, where am I now? Interesting. I appear to have a tailwind now. Interesting. Okay. So, let's lift. By far, one of my weak points in helicopter flying is turning on the spot, especially in this helicopter because it's such a little squirrel, and trying to do it whilst also streaming is not clever, but yeah. Oh, that scenery, man, it's good. Okay, on y va, as they don't say in Scotland. Well, they might have done during the Jacobite Rebellion. What am I talking about? Okay, there's a little botty there. Say hello to them. Anyway, how is everyone? I've been rude and I haven't asked you all. Hope you're well on this Sunday. As I said at the start, I had no intention of streaming today. This was just going to be a just me doing some helicopter mooching around and practicing, and I just thought it looked so nice. I thought I'm going to share it and stream it, and you know, if people want to join, they can do. Sometimes something's just too nice to keep to yourself. So I'm just flying up the side of this glen. Yes, Guy, it's live weather, mate. Live weather, live time. Akutai, how are you doing? Good to see you. Just keeping the climb in. So we get over the top here. Jacob, how you doing? Sorry, I've just seen your message. Good to see you. Yes, the F1. Do you know what? I'm going to be completely honest with you now. Confession time. I cannot, for the life of me... Oh, hang on a minute. Scenery check time. Wow. Wow. Beautiful. I cannot watch Formula 1. I just get bored out of my skull watching it. However, Drive to Survive, that documentary, love it. Really get into it. So my Formula 1 season is literally binge watching Drive to Survive when it comes out. I think it's normally January or February, isn't it? Maybe February, can't remember. But that's my Formula 1 season. So I tend not to pay too much attention to the news during the actual Formula 1 season, during the live races and that sort of thing, and then I just binge it on Drive to Survive, which I'm sure true Formula 1 fans would be retching at the notion of. I mean, it's just wrong, isn't it? Absolutely wrong. It's like going to a restaurant and instead of eating the full 3-course meal and the bottle of wine, you just ask to look at the dirty plate and pick up the scraps and the dregs in the glass. But for me, you get all the excitement of Formula One and all the drama and you know, the camaraderie and the banter and the drama. I've already said that, and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, you don't have to sit through hours of very poor sound effect, I realise. Murdoch, how are you doing? Good to see you. Murdoch is in a equally beautiful place up in Austria. So I'm just going to come around here. I've got the map wound out a little bit too much. There we go. I just need enough so that I can see some detail, but also see where we're going. So just popping over the top here. That's interesting. So this has got to be looked at. There's a marker on the map saying scenic viewpoint. So we're going to take a look at that and see what we see. So where is it? We should be coming up on a road. There it is. We will follow the road till we get to our scenic point. Oh, we got there we go, tourists. Enable the tourist missiles. I say that. I don't live up here anymore, so I'm a tourist as well. And again, you know, a lot of this is dicking around, or it might seem like dicking around, but also it's a good opportunity to practice flying. Following a simple feature like this. Making sure that we don't overdo it. Yeah, I could tell that's probably a good point actually. If you've been to see the real thing, it probably feels very different because you've got an idea of the atmosphere. I mean, this scenery is so damn realistic, isn't it? If you've been up here, you know what I'm talking about. The roads might be a little bit wobbly in the photo scenery and all that kind of thing, but it does look amazing. Right, we are coming up on the viewpoint. See what this viewpoint is, so I'm just putting the brakes on a little bit. Okay, so we've got a bridge. I'm guessing we've got something like a car park. Maybe to the left there. I think that could be a car park, although it's a little bit bumpy. But this is our scenic viewpoint. Let's just ever so gently rotate. Oh, that is nice. There's another 500. Greetings to the 500. That is quite a nice view. You have the meandering burn. You have the mountains in the distance. I get it. I understand why that's been denoted as a scenic viewpoint. Okay, onwards and upwards. Just going to pop over the top of the 500 there and get back down to the road. Now, again, by doing that, we're a little bit off course, but that's absolutely fine. That's absolutely fine because This is the beauty of this kind of flying. There are no rules. The only rule is that you try and fly the helicopter and you learn from your mistakes, and otherwise it's just a case of relaxing, having fun, looking at some scenery and looking at what catches your eye. But we do kind of need to pop over the top, so let's have a look at the map. When we come around this bend, we might see something. Murdoch, you're absolutely right, and I've seen the same thing. But I have I've removed the mesh. Although having said that, sorry, I'm talking out of my you-know-what, because I'm flying and thinking about that as well. I haven't removed the mesh. I removed the terrain masking because it did look, certainly in the UK, it was almost too brown. So I removed it, but I have updated recently, so I don't know if it's put it back. Maybe, but in this area at this time of year, it would be quite brown once the heather has kind of gone from its summer hues. It would be quite brown. Sweaty, where am I now? I am heading to Inverleigh. Inverleigh is on the nose. Loch Broom up ahead, which we should see once we just go up this little ravine, pop over the top, and it should be good. Sweaty, no, this is an add-on, so this is from Taug's Hangar. Highly recommend it. It's really good. And again, look at the detail in this scenery, the rocks in this ravine. My lord. It's little things like that that I love about this sim. One day I'll just accept it and stop waffling on about it, but flying heli, you know, if you're flying an airliner at flight level 320 whatever, you ain't going to be interested in this, but or it's not going to mean so much to you. But when you fly GA warbirds, especially low-level helicopters like this, that kind of detail is just amazing. Sweaty, I mean, you should be all right. I think this helicopter, I'm sure, is available in the marketplace. I'm sure I bought it in the marketplace. His other ones are on flightsim.to, or that's where I bought them. But so long as this is in the marketplace, you should be absolutely fine. And I tell you what, anybody who can fly helicopters, and Aidan, if you're still around, I think you're one of them. But anybody who can fly helicopters with a controller rather than pedals and a stick and a collective lever like I'm using on this PC, I salute you. Right, here we go. Scoot over this way. And yeah, we should have a nice art moment with the scenery. Yeah, that's nice. Beautiful. Just dropping down, but also just being a little bit conscious, keeping an eye on the instruments. This is one of those, especially in the Huey, this is one of those moments where I would very easily find myself overspeeding because I just put the nose down and was prattling around in the valley. But this is damn gorgeous. So this is Inverleigh. An unfortunate bit of autogen there. This is not an office block. Although, hell, God, if my office had this view, count me in. Count me in. Okay, so this is Loch Broom now. Whoa, we've got a fast jet. Oh, okay, slight emergency. I've lost my screen. There we go. That was close. Good God. Wow. I don't know if you saw that. I doubt you did because it's probably locked to Microsoft Flight Simulator, but I've got a button on my a key press button. It's Guy. I've got got a key press button on my loop deck for removing labels, but because I'd been messing about with the little nav map, that was the screen, that was the current active screen. So when I pressed the labels, I suddenly couldn't see what I was flying, and instead had a load of, I think it brought up the, you know, oh, I can't remember what the technical name for it is, but it's the page with all the technical stuff. It's going to come to me in a second. Yeah, Kaiser Sausage. Atmos was lost on me as well until I started using the Andrew Bennett presets and just tweaking that a little bit, and then it's fine. I tried to set it up from the start, but that ain't going to work for me because I am not technical enough. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just fiddling with the switches and the dials and everything. So this is the Andrew Bennett preset, and all I did was just tweak one of the settings in Enviro, I think it was, just to make it less misty. There's the MH60 up top. So let me just, yeah, okay, we do want to pop over the top here a little. So we bid farewell to Lock Room. Ah, Sweaty, you've been in the real thing. Over a glacier. God, that must be wonderful. I've only been in a real helicopter once, and that was back in the 80s. I flew in a Sea King. But never flown the real thing. Never... and since the 80s, not been a passenger in the real thing either. I've got some real world fixed wing flying training. Not a license, but got as far as first solo, courtesy of a previous life, where we had to be trained to understand how aircraft worked and all that. But so yeah, I've got nothing to compare this to, but it feels pretty good to me, and there's enough real world pilots out there that vouch for it, so I'll go with that. So just not completely contouring, but just taking a slightly easier climb over the top. Sweaty, can you turn your head and we see all instruments? Hang on a sec, mate. There you go. So the only addition thing, apart from the kind of vanilla Taugs hanger, is I've got the TDS GTN-XI set in there, which in this helicopter I rarely use, because most of the time I'm looking out the window and just doing this kind of stuff. But that's the only addition. And you can have the PMS, or you can just have old school radios. Yeah, I'd love to do the Grand Canyon as well. Talking of Grand Canyon, by the way, I think Streamlabs has done a damn fine job of posting up the Discord link. We have a Discord. The linketh is in the chatteth, and if you're interested in group flights and that sort of thing, then my lord, that's worth a look at. Then we've got a group flight next Friday. It's a Warbird group flight, and we're going to be flying from Telluride down to Monument Valley, up to the Grand Canyon, and just firing through the canyon, and it should be good fun. So that's next Friday evening, UK time anyway, whatever part of the world you're in. 1900 Zulu is the kickoff. So if you're into that sort of thing and you want to come along, then join the Discord and we'll see you next Friday. Look at that scenery. Oh dear. Guy, I know I haven't spoken to you about this since we had the initial conversation, but I'm beginning to think that the Scottish castle needs to be up here. This is the closest thing I've come to doing a recce flight, and I was thinking more around the Cairngorms, but seeing this, I'm wondering about up here now. So just over the top. I love these little lock-ins that you get high up. Just tootle along, taking it easy. So we have a relatively flat area ahead of us. Dreadmetis, comment ça va, monsieur? Bienvenue. Okay. Sweaty wants a longer look at the instruments. Okay. Are you ready, Sweaty? Here we go. There you go. Okay, back to flying. And the beauty of the detail of the scenery is that a feature or a line or something just catches your eye and straight away you're off. Something to explore. We've got this kind of cluster of lock-ins up here. Nice detail with the rocks. There's the MH60. I need to have a look at that. I keep saying it every time I see it. I bought it, I flew it a little bit, and then I kind of came back to doing this kind of flying, but it's a nice simulation. Okay, we're going to pop over the top here now and keep our nose pointing in the direction of ascent. Oh, very, very clever. Look at that. There's some handy flying. Who was that? Let me just check I've got the right screen active before I blow it up again. Locus! That was some nice flying there, mate. Nice flying. One of the things about helicopter flying is that quite often it's when it looks it's at its smoothest and easiest is when it's at its most difficult, because to fly like that without everything jerking around and you know, spinning and flicking around. I can't read who it is, but whoever that is, Simon, thank you for subscribing. Good to have you along. Yeah, it's that kind of flying where it's tricky, because to fly smoothly and accurately is where you're working hard, not when you're flying full bore, just dicking around. You know. Well, let's just. Oh no, he's heading right, so I'm going to go left. Didn't want to have any kind of air-to-air collision there. That'd be most untoward. Guy, you're banished from rotary for the time being. Good God, I hope you're alright. What kind of chair did you go for out of interest? I've got an Omega, can't remember the name of it, but I think it's possibly getting to the point, thanks to co-pilot Kat and her claws of death, where at some point I might need to renew. So just mooching around. We are climbing here. We're coming up on some higher ground, but just instead of doing it straight line, just mooching around a little bit. We've got quite low speed, which is fine. Just looking at some of the terrain. We've got the little burn here. Yeah, Sweaty, I've got absolutely no idea. I'll be honest with you. I don't have a PS5, so I've no idea what the difference is. That's nice. Between the two. But I think there's quite a few videos on YouTube now of people doing the PS5 thing. I guess the only difference, or one of the differences, would be I'm using something called Rex Atmos, which just makes the world look a little bit more realistic in terms of lighting and that kind of thing. It takes out some of the kind of highly saturated colours that you sometimes see in flight sim, so I guess that might be a difference. Peut-être. By the way, if anyone's interested in seeing the difference between Atmos and you know, normal MSFS, give me a shout and I'll turn the Atmos off for a moment. More than happy to do that. Okay, GT Play, yeah. I don't know what, I've no idea what the name of my chair is. I think they still make it, but they've called it something else. Maybe. Right, I'm just looking over at the map. So, Elfin, for anyone who's following, Elfin is just over here. Where those trees are, kind of roughly, is Elfin, and what's that, Knocken also. And then over here we have Loch Urigil. Probably pronouncing that wrong. And if anyone is local, I do apologise. I had someone from Wales tell me off, telling me that before I fly in Wales, I should learn to pronounce the names correctly. So I'm always a little bit careful now, because people can sometimes get a little bit upset, especially when an Englishman comes up into their neck of the woods and starts mispronouncing everything. Oh, hello, here we are. Here we are today in the wonderful land of Scotland, and here we have Loch Urigil. Yes, very nice. Yeah, you've got to be careful. So we'll have a look at this. Live weather's actually been very kind, both in terms of the how the helicopter's flying. We've only got a 10 knot, 8 knot wind at the moment, but also in the lighting, the way the sun is breaking through the cloud and you can just see it on the hills. It's quite stunning, it really is. Plenty to look at around here. Oh, we have an MH60 going in to pick up some stranded sheep. But oh, look at that lovely cottages there with the trees. Oh, that's a nice view. But what the MH60 was doing there is exactly what this kind of flying is about in a helicopter. Just pick a nice area and mooch around and find somewhere interesting to fly. And if you see somewhere interesting that you want to land on, land on. Simple. Ooh, it's gone a little bit dark and murky this way. So I want to be over that hill, so I'm going to go this way, I think. Fergus Maloney, yes, you're true. That's absolutely true. That is absolutely true. Okay, coming over the top. Oh, beautiful. Every time you come over a ridge or round a corner, you just see something that's stunning. And this is a simulator. I'm sitting in the spare room of my house, flying around the Western Highlands, and in my warped little imaginary brain, I'm here. I'm actually here flying a helicopter. As a child of the 70s and the 80s, it's hard to just convey how far flight simulators have come along. When I was in my, I guess, oh blimey, how old would I have been? Must have been about 12, 11, 12. I was flying something called Psion Flight Simulator on the ZX Spectrum. If you want to Google it, it's PSION Flight Simulator on the ZX Spectrum. Have a look at the graphics on that and you'll understand what I'm talking about. That's what I grew up with, or that's what I cut my sim teeth on, and you'll understand why this kind of stuff just blows me away. Look at the lighting on the hills there. My word. This is often why it's a good idea, and I know a lot of you do it, so I'm kind of preaching to the converted, but this is why a lot of the time it's a great idea to fly live weather and fly at different times, because you never quite know what you're going to see, and sometimes you can be surprised. So normally for sightseeing, for example, I might be tempted to set, you know, like a few clouds preset and set the time to around about, I don't know, anywhere between 10 o'clock in the morning to 2 o'clock in the afternoon, just to get some distinctive lighting. But flying live time and weather and just seeing that kind of thing is blooming gorgeous. It really is. So we're just coming over Stone Crubby. Love the names up here. And then we've got Lockasint on the nose there. You can just see it. So there's a few, by the looks of it, there's a couple of castles. So we'll have a look at that and see if there's anything there. I mean, this is just, what a wonderful way to end the stream, flying over here. I've not flown here in the sim, so it's really interesting. Sorry, I'm trying to get the chat screen back. There we go. Cookie, have they put any deer in Scotland in the simulator? I have not seen deer here yet, if I'm honest. I've seen cows and horses, but yeah, it would be amazing to see a stag. In other areas of the world you do see them. Maybe I've just not been lucky yet. But up in, where was I? Svalbard. There were some reindeer, I think it was, but I think that was part of the scenery. There's a castle. There we go. There we go. I wonder if that's a POI from one of the packs or something. That looks a little bit too detailed to be just auto-gen. That's lovely. That is lovely. Where's the wind? 10 knots. Okay, we're going to land on that bit of beach there, I think. Just checking out that castle. Oh, hold on a minute. Just look at that. Cue the bagpipes. My word. I do need to concentrate on the flying, but I'm just a little bit blinded by just how gorgeous that is. Okay, so we are going to come in, we're going to land on the beach next to the castle, and then get the camping kit out, get a brew on, and oh, if only, if only. So, just concentrate on doing the flying now. So at the moment I've got a 12 knot crosswind, so I'm just doing that at the moment, and then I'll come through, and when I land we'll do a quick label name check just so we can check off everyone who's joined. It's been a pleasure having you guys along, by the way. I hope you've enjoyed the flight. I know sometimes things like this are a little bit like, where the hell's he going now? But look at that. Oh, that's a shot. That's a shot. Wind roughly on the nose now at 11 knots. Brown out. And we're down. Blooming beautiful. Okay. Let's wind the throttle down. It's just the rotor warning going because we've wound the throttle down, but that's absolutely fine. Can have the pitot heat off. Winding the throttle all the way down now to cut off. Generator off. How beautiful. How beautiful is that? I'll tell you what we will do is we'll do a quick just in case anyone's interested, I'll turn the Atmos off in a second and see what it looks like. Interested to see myself, to be honest. Okay, everything's winding down nicely. The rotor brake on. Back and doopy doopy doo. Have you off, off, battery off. Let's get out. Well, we've still got a tail rotor, which is kind of handy. That would have been frustrating not having that. Let's turn off those There we go. Get rid of the things. There's some lovely... oh, we've got the Royal Navy. Salutes to the Navy. Nice landing there, whoever that was. Let's turn the labels on. Mach 06, that was a lovely landing. Oh, Jakey boy, sorry. Look at Pratt. I'm walking around the landing site here, getting in the way of everybody. Let me just come over here. Jakey boy hasn't got his door open. It's because I've got my door open. It's mirrored my state onto his aircraft, so don't worry about that. Oh, be careful. I thought I was getting my feet wet then. Look at the detail in that water. For crying out loud, it's a flight simulator. Amazing. DGJ over there. There's Guy. Guy rocking the Hawk. Providing top cover. Well done, chap. Okay. Jakey, no pressure, mate. I hate it when people do that. I'm going to turn the camera away. Have a look back again, nice and smooth. Turn away. Actually, no, you're good. You're good. We're going to watch this. Shaky boy knows his stuff. And I know that there's sufficient lag that I'm not going to be putting him off. Because what I'm saying is after he's done it. Bloody beautiful. Round of applause for Jakey boy. Nice landing there. Okay, so I promised you we were going to have a look at what happens if I turn the Atmos off. So bear with me. I'm going to come out of walk around mode. There we go, and I'll just pop into drone view. There we go. I'll turn off the labels a second. There we go. And I'll lock off the head tracking. So this is lock off the head tracking, please. There we go. This is with Atmos turned on. So these are the Andrew Bennett presets. All I've done is I've just tweaked the, I think it's one of the particle settings just a little bit so it's not quite so hazy. Now let's hit, coming back, bear with me, I'm just messing about with Atmos now. Let's hit the reset button and in a few seconds it should go back to standard view or standard look. There we go. So that is that's without the Atmos in. Still looks damn good, to be fair. Still looks really good. But if I turn the Atmos back in, and sometimes you have to just kind of dial into it a little bit. Like at first you think, bloody hell, it's gone all dark and murky. But once you get used to it, it does feel a little bit more realistic, I have to say. So there you go. Anyway, look, thank you ever so much for joining the flight. I hope you've enjoyed the stream. As I said a little bit earlier on, we've got a Discord. We've got a group flight next Friday, flying Warbirds, if you're into that sort of thing. So feel free to come along and say hello. The old Streamlabs has been pumping the Discord link out, but if you're watching this on repeat, then the Discord link is also in the video description down below. So yeah, hopefully that helps. But isn't this just about right? The sun is now going behind the clouds, so it's starting to get darker. It's getting moody. It's time to it's definitely time to light the fire, get the brew on, and all that sort of thing. Lovely group of helicopters here. I love doing this kind of stuff. Absolutely love it. The Locust, you have some POI add-on. I have got the Orbex GB pack, so I wonder if that's part of Orbex GB North, maybe. Must admit, I wasn't expecting that. I was expecting some kind of autogen, but I reckon that's coming from. It kind of looks Orbexy to me. It's not, you know, it's not. It's probably not brick for brick model, but it's pretty close, so that you recognise it. But I reckon that's probably what it is. So yeah. Anyway, once again, thank you ever so much for joining. Hope you've enjoyed the stream. It's been an absolute pleasure having you along. Thanks to the guys that joined in the helicopters, joining for the flight. I hope you had a good one. It's been great seeing some other helicopters around there, and here we are. It's almost like a scene from Apocalypse Down. We're going to get the barbecue out. We're not going to be taking our shirts off because it's a little bit nippy, but you know what I mean. We're going to have a beach party next to a castle in the Highlands. How blooming wonderful! Just make sure you got your anoraks and your woolly hats and all that sort of thing. Anyway, thanks for coming along, and I look forward to seeing you on the channel again soon. Take care now. Bye bye.